Israel's cabinet met today in an emergency session to decide what to do about the recent wave of Palestinian terrorism. But Israel is also facing another type of war, a propaganda war. John Jessup has that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington.
That's right, Pat. Terrorists killed 3 Israelis and wounded 20 during Tuesday's Day of Rage. But Palestinian social media is making it look like the Israelis are the aggressors. Chris Mitchell brings us this report from Jerusalem. And be warned, some of the video you're about to see is graphic.
This is what a terror attack looks like, and what Israelis have been facing for weeks. This Palestinian man rammed his car into a bus stop. He got out and hacked 60-year-old Rabbi Krashevsky to death. He then began attacking 78-year-old Haviv Hamim with a meat cleaver. Finally, a nearby security guard stopped him. Despite clear evidence and security camera footage of many of these attacks, Palestinian social media is accusing Israeli police of executing the attackers. Palestinian negotiator Saeb Erekat is also calling on the International Criminal Court to investigate Israel. A case in point, Israeli police confront this Palestinian woman brandishing a knife. When she refuses to surrender the knife, they shoot her in the legs. Yet this picture implies Israeli police shot her for no reason. This picture and others fail to show the attacks themselves, just the aftermath. Michael Widlansky, author of Battle for Our Minds, says disinformation is an old trick.
Mahmoud Abbas studied disinformation techniques when he was a student in the Soviet Union at the Patrice Lumumba University of the KGB. He studied this. And it is always to invent an atrocity story. You send out somebody to kill a Jew. He kills a Jew, or 3 Jews, or 5 Jews, and then he gets killed. And then you claim he was murdered by the Israeli police. It's a bunch of baloney.
What's driving many of these Palestinians to kill is, they say they must protect the al-Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount.
But one thing you should know about the Palestinian Arab leadership, they use the same formula every time. When they get into trouble, they say the Jews are coming to attack us. They're coming to attack the Temple Mount. That's what they did in 1921, 1922, 1929. What Arafat did in 2000, Mahmoud Abbas did the same thing this year. They even use the same term, Yihajimu al-Aqsa. They're attacking al-Aqsa.
In order to protect the al-Aqsa Mosque, this imam in Gaza calls on West Bank Palestinians to impose what he calls a curfew of stabbing to keep Israelis terrorized so they'll stay inside. Jerusalem Mayor Nir Barkat says it's this kind of incitement that kills.
Those incitements are sending people to kill innocent people. We've just seen in the last few days children, high school children that are incited, that go and try and terrorize and kill policemen. They don't return home. They themselves get killed. The incitement kills on both sides.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And Pat, as we've been reporting, many are concerned this might be a precursor to another intifada.
Well, it already is an intifada in a sense. But think of the Israelis. Think of you if you're in downtown Chicago or New York, and every time you get on a bus, there's a danger that somebody sitting next to you will pull out a knife and stab you. I mean, it would be horrible, wouldn't it? And it would mean that you would have to be armed, and then, of course, the police would try to take your gun away from you, your weapon, and leave you defenseless. And all those Israeli people don't want to go around with guns, nor do they want to have soldiers on every single bus or every single means of public transportation. But this is spontaneous in a sense, and it's going to be very hard for Israel to stand against it. But those of us who know and love the truth must stand with Israel on this one. They are lying about this situation, and we will not be deceived by those lies. But unfortunately, what Lindbergh, whatever his name is, Limbaugh calls the drive-by media, they don't pay attention to this stuff. They pick up little snippets. So we've got to be better than the drive-by media. We've got to know what's going on, and we do know, and we're going to stand with Israel in this one because this thing is incited by the Palestinians to, well, weaken and destroy Israel.